What's going on, my dummies, and welcome back to another Digimon Deck Tech. In today's episode, we are going over Craniamon Black Blockers. This deck's a little awkward, but it is still a really cool deck to play. It gets rid of removal. It's kind of like a control aspect. I'm going to play this thing. If you can't deal with it, then you're not going to be able to do something for a while. That kind of thing. Like, I do enjoy the deck to the most part. However, the inheritable sources or the things you can get from it are kind of lackluster as of now. Black is that way right now, just like purple is. They missed a whole entire set. They don't have a lot to go off of when 1.5 is out. We get more in set 4 and set 5 whenever those come, but for now, we have to work with what we have, so that's what we're going to do. So starting everything off, we have Capuriamon as our starter. Of course, Craniamon does not have reboot. We do have a backup in Black or Guardramon Black, meaning it can have reboot, or it does have reboot. So Capuriamon is not completely useless. There's not a lot else you can play because this level 7, level 2 came out. So there's not a lot we can do with that per se. So yeah. Moving forward, we have a 4 of Toy Agumon. He's 3 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 1000 DP. He gives reboot as an inheritable ability. This is probably the only good inheritable ability we can get. The other one is through Craniamon. That allows us to draw a card when a card with the same name enters, but we don't have any stacking names right now for level 4s or level 5, so there's no reason for us to worry about that now. Like I said, reboot's not a bad thing. It keeps your opponent from being able to attack you, especially if you're a blocker. You're able to reboot yourself after you attack, so you're still dealing damage, and it's really good to have on Craniamon. So we have the Toy Agumon. Next up, we have Guardramon. Now you can play Harugamon here if you wanted to. This is just our casual vanilla 2 to evolve, or 2 to play, 0 to evolve, 3000 DP. Just your run-of-the-mill vanilla. I just like Guardramon because he's a cute little army dinosaur. I mean, that's just it. Moving forward, I have a tech choice in Chumon as a 4 playset. He's 3 to play normally, 0 to evolve, 1000 DP. During both players' turn, your opponent can't gain memory except by Tamer's effects. This works well against stuff like Hammer Spark. It works well against shoot. I've lost my train of thought on that. Darkness Claw as a security check when you attack. In set 4, it stops Dome Devimon from being able to gain memory through Neo Devimon, I think is his name. So anything that could continually give you memory, like even the Zudomon from set 1.0 that allows you to gain a memory when you swing, it stops all of that. So your opponent's not able to manipulate their memory other than their Tamer effects, which is still a good thing. Now, if you didn't want to play Chumon, if it is out, I went to promos if you didn't notice during the last one. There is a black promo pack and a purple promo pack. I have no idea when they're coming out, but this Craniamon is not a bad card to play in its spot. Same stats, only 2000 more power, and it gives us an inheritable skill to give plus 1000 DP. I would much rather play this Craniamon. If you wanted to know my personal opinion, I would much rather play this Craniamon over the Chumon because I like cards that do stuff. However, during our opponent's turn, being able to gain 1000 DP can be tremendous. We have stuff that's like, we'll trade if we need to kind of thing, but also it pushes us to a boundary of, we don't trade, we just straight up destroy you. So, yeah, I did want to point that out. Like, Chumon is fine, but you can replace it with that Craniamon from the promo pack if it is out by then. Moving forward, we have our level 4s. The first one up is Numemon. Everybody loves Numemon in black. Arguably the best vanilla in the game until set 4. 3 to play normally, 1 to evolve, 3000 DP. This is a good thing to play normally or to evolve into because it's 3 to play normally. This is like our majority of our level 3s that have on play abilities. However, this is more of like, it's a level 4, so we skip the level 3 altogether and just straight up play the Numemon, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, moving forward, we have Greymon. 4 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 4000 DP. His inheritable says if the Digimon has reboot, it gains jamming. Of course, this works hand in hand with Toyagumon if we need to, but it also works with Greymon, being able to say, hey, I got jamming along with this reboot and blocker that I have, so deal with it. Pretty good card. Of course, like, it gets a little bit more situational whenever you have something along the lines of a Craniamon up under it, because you don't really have the reboot, but it is what it is. Moving forward, we have Guardramon. This is our last level 4. He is our blocker. He's 5 to play normally, 2 to evolve, 7,000 DP. He cannot attack, however, but he's also blocks really well. He blocks majority of level 5s pretty great, actually, that are being played, and he trades with them. He also blocks everything level 4 or lower. He just blocks it. Says get on. So yeah, for Guardramon, I don't see another card that you would want to play in his spot. Unless you wanted a turbo. If you wanted a turbo, Tankdramon's not a bad option here. But you still want to have that blocker. So if you wanted to take out the Greymons for Tankdramons, or Tankmons, not Tankdramons, that is a possibility. I'll show you who Tankdramon, or Tankmon. I don't know why I keep saying Tankdramon, but this is Tankmon. He's 1 to evolve, so he is the equivalent to like Gorillamon and shoot, the red one. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh, Dark Tyrannomon. He's the equivalent to them. But moving forward, we have our level 5s. The first one being Andromon. Andromon is 7 to play normally, 3 to evolve, 7,000 DP. He just has blocker. He can attack. If we have Toyagumon, we give him reboot, so we're able to attack and block with the Greymon under him. He's got reboot and jamming, so he's killing whatever Digimon is there and then rebooting himself so he can attack, or so he can block after he attacked. Pretty good synergy with the deck. Plus, he works with Craniamon's abilities, which is always a positive. Moving forward, we have Metal Greymon. I love this Metal Greymon. I've said it in multiple black videos. This is one of my favorite black cards. So much text in just a little box. Metal Greymon is 8 to play normally, 3 to evolve, 7,000 DP. He has reboot himself, so he triggers the Metal or the Greymon up under him to be able to have jamming by himself, which is always really cool. And then on top of that, his inheritable says, during our turn, if the Digimon has reboot, we get security attack +1. So if we're under a War Greymon, we have security attack 2, reboot, blocker, and if the Greymon's up under it, we also have jamming. So that's always really good. Not much else to say about it. Like I said, it's a small text box, little bitty words, but a lot of abilities happening all at one time. This Metal Greymon, I would say, would be a core of the actual deck itself. However, I can't really say that because it is black blockers. Something else that you can play over it, however, if you wanted to, you could get away with playing this Guardramon right here to give +1,000 during your turn. I wouldn't say that's a bad idea to play, but he does not have blocker. There are no other level 5 blockers. I guess Edamon, if you wanted to really play one, you could play Edamon, but I don't. Metal Edamon doesn't actually have blocker, so it doesn't help you. And until the actual starter deck comes, so if you're watching this and the starter deck is already out, which it doesn't come out until set 4, so this would be a whole nother deck. The other level 5 you would want to play in this spot would be this Megadramon, because it gives blocker, or not that. This Metal Greymon that gives blocker to things whenever you digivolve into it. That would be what I would say you'd want to play in the first place. But moving forward, I'm gonna stop rambling. We have a 4 of War Greymon Black. He's 12 to play normally, 3 to evolve, 11,000 DP. He has blocker and he has reboot. So I keep talking about him. Like, we're able to give him jamming and security attack +1 through Greymon and Metal Greymon respectively. We don't really need the Toyagumon. However, we would like the Craniamon to push him to that 12,000 range. That 12,000 range is really, really powerful. But we'll take what we get, I assume. He's more of your aggressor. Craniamon's not an aggressor. He's more of a blocker. But Guardramon is more of our aggressor. But we do really want the Craniamon out as well. This deck is meant to slow play your opponents. You're not meant to just burst things out as quickly as possible. It's meant to slow play, keep your opponent at bay, and then whenever you're ready, just swing for game. Or start slow pecks for game. But next up, we have our namesake card, which is Craniamon. He is 13 to play normally, 4 to evolve, which is kind of pricey, 12,000 DP, which, if that Craniamon is out by the time you're watching this, that pushes him to 13k, which is really, really good, just saying. He has blocker himself, and then during both players' turns, all of your Digimon with blocker cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That means it can't be Gaia Force. That means you can't Omnimon them. Ultra can't blow them up after he does his whole Digivolve thing, which of course that kind of hits Craniamon. So, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Overall, he's a really good card. He's that last line of protection that you kind of need for the Black Blockers deck. And once he gets established, it's really hard for your opponent to get through, along with the option card that's next to him, which is Breath of the Gods. It is 2 to play, a security effect. None of your opponent's Digimon can attack the player or security until the end of the turn. This basically shuts off your opponent from attacking you altogether whenever you check it in security. That is something Black Blockers love to do, because normally if they're hitting this in security, that means they got past your blockers in the first place, for whatever reason. This keeps them from being aggro with Rookie Rush, for example, and they have more Digimon to swing with than you can block. But the other ability is the main ability, and I love this ability so much. One of your Digimon gains Reboot. Its DP cannot be reduced, and it cannot be returned to the hand or the deck until the end of your opponent's next turn. Meaning no Coyote's Breath, no Millenniumon, no Terra Clusters, so on and so forth. This card's really good. Also, Shine Greymon's a really big deck after that, so Shine Greymon can't reduce its power, meaning he blocks Shine Greymon. Well, I guess not, because Shine Greymon does get big with the amount of tamers that you have, but it is what it is. This card just has a lot of text, a lot of different things that it does. So I really like it at Black Blockers. You could end up playing other things like Joe Kaido. The Black Joe Kaido is a fine card to play here if you didn't want to play Breath of the Gods, because I do have another option card, which is kind of our removal, quote-unquote. So, yeah, if you didn't want to play that, if you didn't want to play Breath of the Gods, you could end up playing the Joe Kaidos, because you're going to have a blocker. I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4... And, like, you could replace this Toyagumon if you wanted to, or this Commandramon for Gatsumon, so that's even more blocker. So as long as you have one blocker, you're gaining a memory at the start of your turn, which is always really good. And he's only 2 to play. Moving forward, we have our last 6 cards of the deck being a 4 of That Was a Good Time. This card, if you remember it, is from set 1.0. It's 4 to play normally. The security effect adds it to your hand. The main effect is one of your Digimon, or one of your opponent's Digimon, Digivolves 1. If that Digimon's cost is 4 or lower, we do destroy it. So this is really good to slow our opponent down whenever they're at Champion, or even Ultimate sometimes, because Greymon is 4, Numemon is 3, like, I think it's the same way with the Shine Greymon line, stuff like that. So, I mean, if it's a vanilla, it kind of sucks, and I see that the vanillas are being played, but I don't know how relevant they are, because we can still get some removal on it, and being able to get rid of that level 5 or that level 6 sometimes is the key ingredient to be able to defeat our opponent, so that's always a positive. Moving forward, we have a 2 of Omnimon Alter S. Now, this is more of a tech choice than a choice that you should make. Alter S himself, you can replace with Millenniumon. I will pull him up right now so you can see who I'm talking about. Give me 1 second, guys. Here he is. This is Millenniumon. He spins something back to the bottom of the deck, discards Digivolution sources, and then whenever he dies, he comes back with no Digivolution sources if he had it to begin with. A pretty cool card overall, but Ultra S, I just like him because he can finish up by attacking without being blocked. On top of which, he's basically a board wipe to some of the decks that we have issues with, decks that like to go wide like Purple Rush or Blue Flood, something like that is able to put multiple creatures or multiple Digimon out on the battlefield at one time. Ultra S is able to answer those small threats, which is something that Black Blockers isn't capable of doing a lot because we feed off the memory and we're playing one card a turn, so then playing 2 or 3 cards a turn where we're only getting to play one is always a negative. But Omnimon Ultra S allows us to slow that down, let it go at our pace. Of course, like if you're playing against Purple Rush, normally they're going to kill you before you get to Omnimon, but if you're able to slow it down enough, or just straight up just play a Guardramon and see what happens, that's something that you could do. Like, you could literally just play the Guardramon, see what your opponent ends up doing. If they end up playing 5 or even 6 level 5s or level 3s, then that's when you're like, okay, cool, Ultra S, blow up your field. You don't get your card advantage back. I mean, not everybody's going to do that in Rookie Rush. Of course, the people that are playing well with it aren't going to just fall into that trap of just playing a bunch of things after you played a Guardramon. But it is a thing that does need to be stated. Like, Omnimon Ultra S is a Rookie Rush counter for the most part. That's why everybody's playing it in their Omnimon decks. That's why the black decks have to have it so they can slow everything down. But anyways, that is the deck, guys. I'm going to stop rambling on here. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you guys are playing in your Black Blockers decks. Let me know if I missed anything that you guys would rather play. Also, hit that subscribe button because every subscription helps the channel. The more I see the subscriptions through the Digimon content, the better the Digimon content and the faster it comes out. But until next time, guys, have a blessed one.